What is up, guys? It is True here, back with another video. Today we're just going to be expanding upon some more basic CQB tactics. You could call them advanced, but they're really not. Today I want to talk about four-way hallways, specifically going straight, making a left, making a right. And then I want to get into some urban movement stuff. It's not going to be super in-depth, mostly because you don't do a whole lot of it in this game, and if you do, it's pretty short-lived. You're kind of just walking on the edge of the map to your breach point. But I will just go over some super simple things to think about, because I know there's people who have no idea what they're doing, so maybe the advice will help them, even though it should be pretty self-explanatory. I also want to go over bypassing open windows during the urban movement, and I have a couple extra tips at the end that should help you in your games. So if you're interested in that, please stick around to the end. Also, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Liking it helps the algorithm. And then if you're interested in joining SOF in any capacity, please join the Discord. We do have a lot of Green Berets and Rangers in there that can assist you with random questions. We will also make fun of you a lot, so if you're thin-skinned, don't even join. But with that being said, let's get on with the video. So the two front guys are going to be pulling cross coverage, right, until they reach a certain point. Once they reach that point, the cell leader is going to make the decision. Are we going left? Are we going right? Are we going forward? And obviously in this case, you are the cell leader. So once you make that decision, these two guys are going to then cover their own corners, because they are going to turn this into a quote left side, right side problem, and they're going to peek, pause, and push at the same time. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So cross coverage up to this point, cell leader says, hey bros, we're going straight. Real world, you'd be stopping a lot. There wouldn't be as much flow as there is in this video, but I just have them flowing through the motions because there's no enemies in this little practice shoot house. But cell leader would be like, hey bros, we're going forward. Two guys would make eye contact. Yep, push out at the same time. Peek, pause. And then once they see everything's clear, then they're going to push. So they're going to push into their respective hallway, and they're going to push across while pulling coverage down their hallway the whole time. While they're doing that, the two men in the rear are going to just simply flow across, pulling their security forward and using these guys as their body bunkers from these avenues of approach. So let's take a look at what that looks like.
On target. Alpha, go.
Flows across with them. Once these guys hit their touch point, they can simply take a quick peek rear, and then they can just push right into the stack.
Bravo, go.
All right, this time we are going to be making a left-hand turn. So you're going to approach the hallway the exact same way you did going straight across. We're going to do our cross coverage, come to our point, make a decision. And then in this case, we're going to make a left. So let's build up to it. Cross coverage. We're going to do our peek, pause, push. And then our guys are going to decide that they want to flow left. Okay, so the way that this looks like is the side that is going to be pushing. The peek, pause, push man, the number one man, is going to push and then still immediately go across. And then he's going to hold. Your second man's going to come out and then hold on this side. And they're both going to be pulling security in the direction they're going to go. Now, real world, these guys would actually push out and start moving forward, but they'd be going at a half step. Since you can't really do that in this game, I just have them hold here and wait for these guys to catch up, because half stepping is how you allow them to catch up in real life. So once they get into once you have their position set up, these guys at the same time, he's going to push out and push across, and then this guy's going to go straight across, pulling security this way. This guy's going to body bunker him. And then once this guy reaches his touch point, he can take a quick look to their 6 o'clock while pushing back across the hallway, and then using this guy as his body bunker as he pushes across. And then he's going to flow in left side. And then once he hits his touch point, he's going to take a quick peek this way. And then he can even take a quick peek this way and then just flow right in. For this last part, it doesn't really matter who goes where. In this one, I have this guy push to the left as he goes across, and then this guy ends up just flowing into his side of the hallway. But you can have this guy flow straight in and then have this guy do his little peek and then push across. Doesn't really matter too much. I think in the next example I switch it up, but let's see what it all looks like.
Holding for Charlie.
So as you can see, these guys pushed in, he immediately pushed across. Now these guys are holding squat. Real life, they would be half stepping forward. And then these guys immediately pushed out and treated it just like going straight, except now that they hit this corner here, instead of this guy, your yellow man, continuing forward, he's going to stop and then push across the hall. And then instead of this orange guy here looking back and pushing into this hall, he's simply going to look this way and then push back across the hall here and flow into the stack.
Alpha, Bravo.
Once
Go.
again, they're body blocking each other.
Charlie. Go.
Looks back, boom. And lastly, for the four-way hallway, we're going to be taking a right. It's the exact same thing as the left, guys. We're just switching sides. So I'm not going to go too in depth in the talk. I'm just going to kind of let it flow and talk it through a little. These guys get their cross coverage, peek their corners, pause, push in. Now this side is going to be pulling their security long. This side's going to push across and then do all these pushings to the right side.
On Charlie. On
Alpha. Go. Bravo. Go.
That's it. So this map is a good one that I use to showcase windows. It also has this kind of alleyway here that you're going to treat just like a hall. You'll see how it works. You guys will start to see a lot of this stuff. It really is like, it's almost like a puzzle. It just has a little more complex additions that come into it. But if you understand the baseline of the puzzles, you can just use your cabeza to start using the foundations of that to make better tactical decisions to handle more complex problems, right? So this one's super easy. It's not complex, but he's gonna punch in, push across, and pull security just like a hallway until the last guy goes through. And then I'm gonna show you how to do windows. Okay, it's super easy. All that's gonna happen with windows is the front guy is going to pick up the window, pull security, and then the guy behind him is going to cut around, pulling security long and bypass him. And they're just going to keep bypassing each other. So the guy who picks up security on the window is going to hold it until the last man passes him, and then he'll flow back in with the stack. And it'll be the same for this window. It's closed right now, but we're going to treat it like it's open just for example's sake. So when that first guy that comes around hits that window, he is then going to pick up security on that window while the guy behind him leapfrogs him and continues down this alleyway. I'm also going to actually flow in and showcase, because we do have the S-Vest guys here, how I would handle this room, knowing that there's S-Vests. But yeah, I'll show you the window example real quick. Pulling security to get this door open. Kills his guys going long. Takes his time around. Pushes down just like a hallway. Pushes across, body bunkering the first guy. These guys don't get a body bunker, but it just is what it is. You're not going to have body bunkers on everybody. You're not always going to have every angle. You know, people in the comments will always be like, yeah, I know, dude. Like, you can't have everything you want all the time in CQB. It's just the way it is. But anyways, you know, this first guy, he's picking up on this window. He's literally going to come, take his window, stop, and then the second man is already getting up here to get around him as fast as he can to pull security long in the event somebody pops out here while he's doing it.
Alpha.
So he's got the window. See, this guy right here is popping out, so he's immediately going to take it. I mean, the example couldn't be any better. The whole team is flowing around. Once they get around, this guy will pick up and just go with them. And then that front guy now takes this window, right? It's closed right now, but we're pretending it's open. And then the team flows around him and takes the angle. Obviously, the windows that are closed, you can kind of do what you want. You can be super slow and thematic, which actually is usually better in this game. So even if the window's closed, anybody can open it at any point, right? So you can still have a guy flow in the window and pull security on it just in case somebody decides to get froggy with it. However, real life, there's the whole notion that your speed is your security at times. So depending on the threat situation and all that other stuff, you can also just kind of bypass it and just have dudes switched on. Like, if somebody starts peeking out this window, I need to be able to snap to them as these guys come to it. But anyways, having to have the front man come over here, pulling security this way. Second guy and the third guy are going to come up to open and push this door. And then the last guy is just going to flow in behind him. Pretty sure, yeah, what happens is before I even get it set up, the door gets opened, which makes it easier because this front guy gets to push across and then the two guys get to just go right in. Oh, that's right, because it opens, what I do is I have the second guy punch out real quick to pull security this way, and then because the first man wants to have this open doors is immediate right now, so he's just going to jump right in on it, pieing across at the same time as this guy so that he's plating him, as you can see, and then this guy's just pulling security along. These guys are already starting to come out. We have the luxury of seeing that, but I still push him in. And then again, hallways right, cross coverage is the best way to do it because this guy's always going to have the best angle on that, and vice versa. He comes in. We know these guys are starting to push out. We know they have S-Fest, so we're kind of going to give them a second, let the environment breathe a little. I could have this guy pulling rear security too. I just don't because I'm just kind of focused on this. Not necessarily the right answer. It's just what happens.
Got him.
Give him a second. Nobody else is coming out, so now I'm going to try to assault this room. But I know there's at least one more S-Fest guy in there. Even if I didn't and I was just concerned about S-Fest, I might take it just like this. But these guys are going to take this open door immediately. And then this guy, instead of punching straight to the door, is just going to push across the hall, right, to maintain this distance. And they're all going to kind of be plating each other. As you can see, they're going to be in this line. Right, see, so he's taking care of this threat. This guy's looking in here taking care of these threats.
Flash out.
Have him throw the flashbang in because we know there's more people in this room, and I want to be able to kind of just run into this room now because the door's open and take it. We also see that this door decides to open, so instead of just punching straight across, I'm going to have to handle it differently. See, now the front man is going to, because he has the best essay on this door, he's actually going to watch this door plate across. I have this guy sprint up to try to get here so that he can plate him at this angle, right? Taking care of the room while this guy watches the door. Bing, bang, boom. Now they both punch into the room. As you can see, all we're doing is building. I know that was a lot, but if you've watched all the videos, I've taught pretty much all of that stuff up to that point, right? So rewatch videos, go into practice houses, and just do repetitions on it, because again, it is kind of like a chess puzzle that once you recognize the pattern, then you can kind of just build upon it, and then you can make your decisions based off of it. And again, yeah, you're not always going to have security everywhere all the time. It's never going to be pitch perfect the way you want it, but you just have to make the best tactical decision that you think is viable for the situation you're in. And finally, we're going to come to some, quote, urban movement stuff. I really just do the first part, which is approaching buildings, because so far this is probably the biggest urban map I've seen, and it's really the only one I've seen, so maybe I'll do a super in-depth video with this entire map as a mission as a whole. But I just want to go over kind of like your infill point to wherever your initial breach point is going to be. I just go over two examples real quick. One is going up this way, and then one's coming this way. So first of all, if we're looking at this like pre-mission planning stuff, we want to find our foothold building, right? So we want to figure out which building we want to attack and hold initially. So initially my two thoughts were I either need to go take these two, or I need to come take, I would love to take this one, but I don't like that the door's on the front. I don't want to try to get into this door in the middle of this courtyard where all these freaking buildings are looking in, right? So I choose this one initially because I can kind of skirt around the back. I have the side of the map here protecting me, and I can kind of focus my efforts to the right, and then I have the door right here, so I can just kind of push right the hell in, get my foothold, and then we can do our attacks out and slowly make our way out of the map from the corner here. In the next example, I'll talk about how I approach these buildings, but all I did was kind of approach them to this point, and I just show you what it looks like. I don't actually take the buildings, or I haven't even really played this mission yet. I just used it to, again, describe infill to breach point. So basically what happens is I have one squad of 4 go up first, and then I have the rear squad of 5 with our saw gunner go up last. In this scenario, because it is a big urban environment, I did take a support by fire. I took a 249 to have a sort of localized support by fire everywhere I go, because I want somebody providing some sort of overwatch on these kind of roadways and stuff as we move around. So the first squad is going to push forward, and all they're going to do is cover the windows, cover these points, then cover this window, and then approach this building. And we're just going to do that the way I just described it, via the leapfrogging over the windows and stuff. But what's going to happen is, because I have the edge of this map here, our first guy is going to be looking forward, and then our second guy is going to be looking like that, and then like that, and then like that, and then, you know, the last guy's rear. That's pretty much all you have to do. It's really not hard. Just have people covering bases, and then what you can do is, if threats start popping up a load up here, you can have like the front 3 guys focus their efforts up, and then you can have just like one guy posting, you know, to the right, and then one guy kind of posting rear as an eye, you know. But that's all I do for this. So we can show you the I can show you the example, and this was the first run through. Never played the map, and I have them go all the way to the door without pausing or redirecting, and they're able to they take a couple of hits, but they're able to handle themselves pretty well. So you see, as soon as the targets present themselves, they just take care of them. We got some stuff going on in the rear, but I have my rear guy looking back there.
Tango down.
And then they just flow into the building. I have 2 guys pulling security right here. And then I leave these guys outside because they're going to be all they're doing is watching these roadways, these long corridors, right? And then I have these guys working the house.
Tango down.
And then that's now my foothold house. Now I can kind of plan my mission based off of what I saw rolling up to the house and what I can see now looking out of the house, whether I want to come up this way and work this way, if I want to come this way and work this way, if I want to do both at the same time. It really doesn't matter, again, as long as the decisions you're making make sense and you're not just moving people willy-nilly. Whatever decision you make should be fine. And then if you have enough people like this, you can just do 2 squads rolling side by side. This is also how you can do if you're on a street by chance. One team is on one side of the road and then another team's on the other. And then if there's buildings with windows, you know, this side just bypasses the windows as we've taught it, and then this side also bypasses windows as they've taught it, and they try to stay in line with each other. Front guys pull cross coverage, all that fancy stuff. But in this open terrain, front guy's gonna look forward, everybody else is gonna look out, and then same on this side, forward and out. We have this fancy helicopter here, so we don't really need to pull rear, but if it wasn't there and we had a bunch of stuff over here, you know, you'd have a couple guys looking rear. It looks just like this. Got them killing people as they see them to the left. This guy pops out to the right. They're dealing with stuff forward. And then as you can see, I have them start pushing out. And then eventually they go to kind of take this house, but I just stopped it because I wasn't really playing the mission. I was just setting it up for the urban stuff. So if you've made it to the end of this video, first of all, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Second of all, what are the 2 tips that I was going to give at the end? The first one, roads, alleyways, whatever. How do you attack these problems without me completely teaching you how to attack these problems? Well, what does this kind of look like? This kind of look like maybe a hallway? You can attack roads the same way you attack hallways. Have your guys bump out, bump across, plate each other, help each other as they push across these open ways, right? You're like, yeah, but this one's not in line with this one. Yeah, I know. Use your fucking cabeza, dude. Have these guys choke up back here, you know? Let these guys kind of push out. Then as they start pushing across once they're safely able to do so. Have these guys push out. Have these guys choke up here while these guys push up here. Once this is safe, then they can kind of both go at the same time and get the hell across. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about though. Like, once you start doing the basic stuff and you really drill it into your head, you start seeing these patterns and you can apply them to more than just what they've been taught as. You know what I mean? Understanding your angles, understanding your coverage. Once that starts really ingraining into your head, you can start using those fundamental skills and apply them to different scenarios and be like, you know what will work here? I do know what will work here. I may have to, you know, change it up a little, right? But I know I can make it work. I just need to flex how I need to flex. And then the second comment is for all you keyboard warriors. That's right, baby. How do I do it? I have grenades and air support, and why do I even... Don't worry, baby. This is exactly how you do CQB right here. In all seriousness, though, there's a bunch of people who keep saying, like, these tactics are dog shit. We just throw grenades in rooms and drop air strikes on people or more. Like, yeah, no fucking shit, Sherlock. But every single fucking special operations guy that's fucking out there doing shit still understands and knows the basics. You don't just walk into a fucking shoot house and fucking get handed grenades and 9-bangers and start flowing. Like, you have to know how to do the basics. You could run out of equipment or whatever, dude. Just because you throw that grenade in there doesn't mean it gets that guy in the corner. So you have to understand what you're doing. But anyways, thanks again as always for watching, guys. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.